Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since you guys have been here in front of my makeup collection. It has been a minute since I have filmed a Shop My Stash video. I kind of took a hiatus through the month of July and just reached for whatever I felt I organically wanted to reach for. I wasn't as hard on myself in terms of using my Project Pan items, etc., because I felt like I was just experiencing a little bit of Project Pan fatigue, if you will, and I wasn't getting to use some of the things that I really wanted to reach for. So today we are going to be doing a Shop My Stash. In the past, I have updated my Shop My Stash every 2 weeks. I am going to try and update every 2 to 3 weeks going forward, but essentially what I want to do is pick items to focus on that are seasonally relevant. So as we go through my collection today, I'll be picking out a bunch of products that I feel like are best suited to my summertime makeup needs as we are about to enter the last month of summer, August, and I'm going to try and use every item that I pull at least 3 times before I am ready to put it back. And so when I feel like I've gotten good use out of everything that I have reached for, then I will update you, whether that be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. We're just going to do whatever feels right. So I've actually gone through my collection and put everything back into my organizers that are not part of a Project Pan. So the only thing that is currently in my organizers right now are Project Pan items. And then like my foundations on here are also Project Pan items. So we're gonna just skip any sort of review of what was last in my Project Pan because it has been so long, and we are just gonna jump right into shopping my stash. If you guys are new to my channel and have not yet subscribed, I would love if you would subscribe before moving on. I do post a minimum of 4 times a week, so if you have fun today and are interested in tagging along for the ride, don't forget to subscribe before moving on. And other than that, let's just jump into the Shop My Stash. All right, you guys, I'm actually really excited because my organizers are no longer in my closet, so hopefully it'll be easier to see as I do this. But in my top drawer, it's going to be the most difficult to see. I have all of my foundations and primers. I'll try and lift this up a little bit so you can kind of see into this drawer. My foundation and primer collection is out of control. I'm not sure if my makeup inventory will be up before or after this video, but it is filmed. It is coming, and both of these categories are a little bit scary. So let's decide what summer relevant products I want to select. All right, you guys, so I think I'm going to pull these 4, which I know seems like a lot, especially considering I still have like 5 foundations going in my project, but these are all summertime appropriate, and I would really like to get some use out of them before we enter the fall months. You guys know I always reach for my IT Cosmetics all summer long, so I always like to have this pulled. I would also like to finish off my Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer in the illuminating version. I don't think that they make this anymore, and I have about 1/4 of this left. I have the new Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, but I'd love to finish this by the end of the year, and this is my most favorite time of year to wear this, so a good time to pull this. Also, the Pure Lease Perfect Glow BB Cream. Typically, I only reach for BB creams in the summertime, so I want to make sure I get some use out of this before we reach the colder months. And then finally, I love my Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation, and this one is a little bit darker, so I definitely can mix this with a couple of these which tend to be a little bit lighter on me to get use out of multiple, and I like to reach for this one in the summer as well if I know I need my makeup to last a little bit longer. This one is definitely a comfort matte. It's not too drying, but it makes my makeup last pretty much all day. I know I can rely on this to stay on my face. So I'm going to reach for these 4 foundations, and again, my goal will be to use them at least 3 times. I think I'm going to do my most focusing on these 2, and then try and get some use out of these as well. I have 3 primers I'm going to reach for. I really want to get some use out of my Origins Original Skin. I purchased this around last winter time, and I have heard that this actually does expire relatively quickly, so I want to make sure that I use this within its shelf life, so I really need to focus on this guy. I have this sample of the Smashbox Vitamin Glow. I actually have 2 of these and I'm almost done with this one, so I figure it would be really amazing to just use this up. And then also my Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow. This is like the perfect time of year to reach for this, and I find myself not ever reaching for this, so I would love to get some more use out of this. All right, you guys, moving on to powder and concealer. I actually have finished all of the concealers in my project pan, and I feel like my concealer collection is finally getting really manageable. And then I have no powders currently going in my project pan either. So I think I'm going to grab the Beauty Bakery Flour Powder because I have not tested this yet. I also forgot to mention in the beginning, most of the items that I have recently added to my collection, I won't be choosing from today. Those are in a special drawer in my desk now, my new drawer, so I can casually test them as I need to, but you guys won't be seeing those today, and there's a lot of new products that I will be hauling for you soon. But I still need to test this out from Beauty Bakery, so I'm going to pull this, and then I'm also going to pull my, I think my only matte pressed powder. This is the Bite Beauty Changemaker powder. I absolutely love this powder. I think that this is just such a perfect powder. So I'm going to grab those 2 for powder. And then for concealer, I have been testing out the Oma Beauty concealer, and I actually have been enjoying this. When I first used it, it wasn't my favorite. I do think the shade match isn't the most perfect for me. It's a little bit dark, so I definitely want to get as much use out of this as I can this summer when I am a little bit deeper. As you can tell, I have a really cool tan going on, right? I did finally try and wear a mitt, but I don't know, some must have leaked onto my hand, and then this is not a cut, this is a swatch from earlier in the day. But I do want to reach for this concealer when I am a little bit more tan. And then I'm also going to grab for my Jouer concealer. This is also in my summer shade, and I don't know if I used this more last year than I remember, or if my daughter like got into this, but I just recently pulled the stopper out of this, and I feel like if I consistently use this for the next couple of months, I'll be able to move this out of my collection, and I would love to move another concealer out of my collection. I have enjoyed the Jouer concealer, but it's not one that I think I'll repurchase just because I have other concealers that I prefer over this one. So that is my thought on that. Okay, moving into my bronzer drawer. I know that I'm going to grab for my Hourglass bronzer. I have this in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. I absolutely love this bronzer for the summertime, so I want to make sure I'm getting use out of it before the fall time hits. I have been obsessed with this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, you guys, but I have pretty much exclusively been wearing this the last 3 weeks, so I feel like I should not grab for that. I do know I am going to grab my Milk Makeup bronzing stick. This and the Tarte Seychelles bronzer are my only current cream bronzers, and this one is older. They are pretty comparable in terms of shade. I have been using this one very, very consistently the last couple of weeks and kind of neglecting this one, so that is why I'm going to pull this one. This one is just a little bit less warm than the Milk Baked one. I really like both of them. So yeah, a review will be coming of this one as well. And then I'm also going to grab my Cover FX Bronzing Duo just because it's been a little bit since I've reached for this one. I do love this bronzer. You guys know this is like my favorite bronzer in my collection, although Charlotte Tilbury may be replacing this, but I still absolutely adore this bronzer and miss reaching for it, so I am going to pull this and we will call it good for bronzer. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. My blush drawer is absolutely out of control. I've recently tried to like reorganize it a little bit, but I don't know. I do know I want to grab my Alamar Cosmetics palette just because this has really vibrant shades, perfect for the summertime. So I'm definitely be grabbing this. I'm also going to grab my Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm. I have really, really been enjoying this. This I used to not enjoy that much, but as my preferences have kind of changed this year and I've been a lot more into cream products, I've really grown to enjoy this product. I feel like I'm gonna finish this up this year. I absolutely am gonna finish this year, and I will be so proud of myself. I could see myself repurchasing this actually, which is crazy because I've mentioned this in like high-end makeup products that are not worth it, but I have really grown to like this over the last few months. So I'm going to grab this. I'm also going to grab my MAC Cheer Up blush. This is a really, really beautiful shade for the summer. Just so you guys know, I'm going to be grabbing a bunch for blush because I just cannot help myself. I think I will also grab, I want to make sure I'm grabbing all my summer shades. Let's see, I'm going to grab Becca Flower Child and try and get a little bit more use out of this before the summer ends. Ooh, I know, I'm also going to grab my Buxom Ibiza shade. This is very pink, and I actually don't reach for pink blush that often, and this actually might be a really pretty winter shade actually, but I am going to grab this. And then I actually am going to grab this again. I had been testing this out and then I put it away for a little bit. This is the Tarte Sugar Rush Beaches and Cream Blush. Not my favorite formula in terms of cream blushes, but it's still very easy to use. And this shade is obviously more of a summertime shade. It's a really pretty pink shade, so I want to make sure I get some more use out of this before the fall time. I think we will call it good for blush. Actually, well, what else do I need to get? I'm going to get a little bit more use out of my Buxom Mykonos blush too before the year ends. This is definitely more of a summer shade. I have been really enjoying this shade this summer. It looks super pigmented obviously when you swatch it, but if you use a really fluffy brush, this is so beautiful on the cheeks. You guys know I love my Buxom blushes, so I'll grab this and then we'll call it good for blush. All right, you guys, my highlight drawer is legitimately out of control as well. I know I'm going to grab my Artist Couture Summer Haze highlighting powder and get as much use as I can out of this before the summer ends. I have also really been enjoying the Iconic Illuminating Drops as a cream / liquid, obviously, highlight. So I'm going to pull this. I'm also going to pull both of my Dose of Colors and I Love Sarah E highlighters because these are pretty intense and these work best for me when I do have a tan. So I want to get some use out of this before the summer ends. I also am going to grab my Persona Zuma highlight. I haven't reached for this in a while and I actually really love this highlight. This one again is pretty intense and works better for me when I am tan, but it's beautiful. And then I'm also going to grab my Danessa Myricks Wet Balm so that I can have another like cream highlighting option. And I think I will call it, I'll call it, oh, I also want to grab this highlighting palette from Lancome because I really want to get some use out of Sparkling Petch this summer. This is a really beautiful peachy highlight. Oops, there we go. Now I'm in frame. A really beautiful peachy, like golden peachy shade. Again, just a little bit dark unless I have a tan going, but so beautiful. So I'm going to pull this and then we will call it good for the highlight drawer. All right, you guys, down here we have my face palette drawer. I have recently been reaching into the ABH Sun Dip Glow Kit quite a bit, but because I've reached for it a lot, I don't feel like I need to pull it. I'm not going to pull my sugar one. That one I can use in the winter. I think this one's more of a winter. My NARS Overlust I could definitely reach for, but I feel like I can also get away with using this in the fall time, so maybe I'll save that. This I can use all year round. This is more of an all year round. The Love Glow, maybe I'll pull this just because it's like super intense. I'll pull my Natasha Denona Love Glow palette, and I think I also will pull my Becca Après-Ski Glow palette just because this is a little bit deeper of a bronzer, so if I want to use this shade, usually I do in the summer. This is one of my favorite highlights. I also have this in a single and I'm currently trying to pan it. This works best for me when I have a tan. This will be best for me if my skin is a little bit deeper as well. So I will pull this and we'll call it good for the face palette drawer. This drawer is all of my mascara. I don't need to pull any new mascaras. And then it also has my liquid and single shadows. I'm not going to pull any liquid or singles right now because I do want to pull some summer palettes to work on alongside all of my Pan Those eyeshadows palettes. So I'm going to grab those palettes and I will be right back. Alright, here are the 3 palettes I really want to work on the next few weeks. First, we have the Alamar Cosmetics palette. This just screams summertime to me. I do have pan on this shade. I love this green shimmer shade. And then there's just some really fun warm shades and those blue shades. So this to me, I'm going to get the most use out of in the summer if I'm going to get use out of it. So I'm going to pull this. Also, obviously, the Huda Neon palette is going to be best suited for the summertime. So I'll pull this and try and do some looks with it. And then I really, really love the Sassy Siennas palette for the summer because it just has these really beautiful coral shades. So I'll pull this. Sorry, you guys, I forgot I also had these in my desk drawer already as palettes that I really want to focus on throughout the rest of the summer. So I also have my Huda Coral Obsessions. This is one of my favorite palettes for the summertime. This used to be my go-to travel palette when I could travel as well. I've already been getting a ton of use out of this, but I'm really close to pan in this shade, and this is just such a fun palette for the summer, so I'm going to continue to work on this over the course of the next month. And then also my Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I found that this palette pairs really nicely with the Huda Coral palette. I usually reach into this palette for like this shade to deepen up a look, or this shade too I really love, and then I will use one of the shimmer shades in here, or like, what am I trying to say? Metallic shades. I will reach into a metallic shade as a lid topper to pair with like a base that I create out of the Huda Coral Obsessions palette. I can't speak. Anyway, I'm going to add this as well, and I'm going to be working on 5 palettes alongside the other 6 I'm working on in my Pan Those eyeshadows. But again, I would really love to get some good use out of these palettes in the summertime because I feel like this is the time to use these. Alright, you guys, and then finally I just have a handful of summertime lips, if you will, that I would really like to use at least 1 to 2 times throughout the month of August. So, to begin, I have my Tarte H2O glosses. I have the shades Maldives, Getaway, and Zipline. All of these are obviously very summery in tone to me. So especially like this one specifically, I need to get some use out of in the summer, or I'm just not going to. And I haven't reached for this yet this summer. So my goal is to use each of these at least 2 times. I do love glosses, so it is a plus that they are glosses. Another gloss I want to get some use out of is this mini one from Fenty. This is in the shade Pretty Please. Just a really beautiful hot pink gloss shade. But this one is more sheer on the lips. It's very wearable, but what a perfect time to wear it in the month of August. I have these 2 products. This is the YSL, what are these? This is an intense stain, and it's a really, really beautiful pinky coral, like hot pink coral shade. Really like this. And then the Lancome Juicy Shaker in Apricot, I think is the shade name. Okay, it's not shaking up, but I love both of these. This one specifically is kind of like a lip oil, so I really think... So I love how comfortable this is on the lips, but I just always forget to reach for it. So I'm going to try and reach for these a few times. And then I just have 3 liquid lipsticks that I'm going to try and reach for. I have this one from Lime Crime in the shade True Love. This one from ColourPop in collaboration with Alexis Ren in the shade Little Weapon. This is so old, but I swear you guys, it doesn't smell off, but I feel like after this summer I should probably just retire this. It's gotten a lot of love. It's such a unique, cool shade. I'm going to be really sad to let this go, but I feel like it's time after the summer's over, so if I could just get a couple more uses out of this, then I will retire it. And then also from Dose of Colors, I have the shade Coral Crush. I actually do like a really bronzy look with a coral lip, so these are some shades that I would really like to get some use out of. Alright, you guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's Shop My Stash video. I have some full makeup drawers, some really great products that I'm really excited to get some use out of in August. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what products you plan to reach for this next month. Like I said, it could be 2 weeks that I come back to update, maybe 3, maybe a month. We'll see. Regardless, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel, and I hope you are having an amazing day, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.